The steering committee meeting, attended by top female participants from the private sector, discussed the need for a campaign against gender-based violence, funding, quality assurance, and accountability. The meeting also highlighted the determination and commitment of the private sector in Nigeria to enlighten the society on the need to combat gender-based violence and to rally corporate organizations to support the campaign, as the elimination of gender-based violence has a direct benefit for businesses and Nigeria.
All the cultural, social, and religious norms that have been affecting this pandemic of gender-based violence we need to change our mindset to eradicate it, not just because women are involved. And by the way, it's not only women that are victims of gender-based violence. Yes, our focus is women and girls because they are the majority. But as has been highlighted, it affects us in our homes, it affects us in the workplace, it affects us in our communities, and it affects our productivity, it affects our well-being, it affects our prosperity. So we all have something to gain by working together, pulling together to address this crisis of inequality, this crisis of iniquity, this scourge, removing it from our own society so that we can really truly develop and prosper as a nation.
The GDP of Nigeria can improve dramatically when gender-based violence is eliminated. Because when you look at individual women not showing up at work, individual women and children being affected by gender-based violence, it's tremendous. We also know that beyond staff members in the private sector, we know that suppliers, we know that people distributing goods are also affected. So it's a paralysis of the economy that we are looking at. And I'm very glad that in West Africa, indeed in Africa, one country, Nigeria, has decided, not just by government efforts, by private people, to put on the table resources that are required to address gender-based violence.
Just imagine that 1 million people, 2 million people, 20 million people cannot produce because of gender-based violence. Then that tells you how much we lose in terms of our gross domestic product, which can go up to 2%. 2% is a matter of trillions we are talking about. So we are actually engaging the private sector to be able to be involved, committed, not only with what they do, but with also their finances in the fight against gender-based violence. Gender-based violence is not good for the woman, it's not good for the man, it's not good for our community, it's not good for our country. It must be stamped out.
Gender-based violence phenomenon has been detrimental in terms of cost to the economy, having a negative effect not only on the welfare of the women in Nigeria, but also on the country's economic growth. Fadeshola Shutingwa, Arise News.